On today's episode of the Western Blend, we're doing something a little different here. This is your host. This is Isaac Nulton, and he has been doing this podcast thing for a couple months now. I came home in December.
Yeah, in December. You were a pretty good catalyst to actually start it. I got all the gear and stuff as a Christmas present because it's something I kind of talked about, and next thing you know, you're like, all right, let's pull it out. Let's get her going. And we recorded that first one and figured out how to at least get it up on YouTube that first day. So
that was fun. That was an entertaining couple minutes trying to, I don't know, we sat at home and Mom made us margaritas and we went to town.
Yeah, that was a good time.
But anywho, we're doing something a little different. I'm home from Texas, and since you've started this, you've talked to multiple people on how they got involved in the Western industry, what they do, and you've talked to many different people. You know, cowboys, rodeo cowboys, reiners, trainers,
cutters. Yeah.
Cutters. You've done it all.
Horseshoer.
And when you got this set up to do these podcasts, I noticed that you had a lot of interest in the Western world, and you always have. So I guess for this episode, we're gonna dive into Isaac a little bit and talk to him about, his life, what got him into the Western world, and where he plans on going. So, first off, me and this kid have been best friends for 5 years now.
Yeah, at least that.
Yeah, and so we know a lot of stories about each other, and we're gonna dive a little bit into it. So first off, go ahead and give us something a little juicy.
That's not where I thought it was going. I was like, all right, we're gonna start off grow up, all that.
That's pretty much where we're starting. But you grew up around horses. I know that.
Yeah, kinda. So grew up in central Pennsylvania, south central Pennsylvania, rural area. My parents have a Christmas tree farm that my grandparents started. Kind of grew up there, so agriculture, but I was always it doesn't really count type thing. But yeah, I have a sister that's 2 years older, and when we were kids, I was probably 5. My mom sent us to a horse camp in the summer. It's probably the worst financial decision she's ever made. But I remember showing up. I had my cowboy boots, jeans, the whole deal. Show up and everyone's wearing tights, and I'm like, what is going on here? It was an English barn.
Oh
yeah. So I rode English from the time I was 5 until probably late into middle school. Hunter jumper stuff. We had a pony. We started off leasing 2 ponies. Then we bought a pony that my sister rode. When she outgrew him, I got him and I rode him. And around the time I was kind of outgrowing him, I pretty much stopped just high school sports and stuff, football, baseball, just doing other stuff, hunting and fishing. Just wasn't making time for it, and I never felt like I really belonged. It was weird, especially at that age range. I was the only guy. And I remember, here could be your little juicy story. I remember being little. I'm on the first pony we leased in the lead line class, right? Someone walks around with you and you're on the pony showing. Which, by the way, I have a grand champion ribbon somewhere, so I did good. But some lady walks up to my mom and she's like, "Oh my God, your daughter's so cute." And I'm sitting there like this, dude. I just remember thinking I have a wiener. But you gotta think in the English world, girls put their hair up in their helmets and stuff, and you have to have a helmet on.
Yeah.
And
no, that was that lady's nice way of saying you look like a chick.
Yeah. I've been told I have good eyelashes, so. And I did not have a beard then, believe it or not. So yeah, just I was the only dude in a straight up female industry.
So you started riding English?
Yeah, exclusively. But I do remember I always wanted to rope. So I have a rope still. It's actually over there. I don't even know what it is. It's super stiff. It's really thick. It's gnarly to try to rope with. But someone gave that to me. I can't even remember who or where it was from. But someone gave it to me when I was at that barn. So I've always had that like in the back of my mind, and I've thrown that rope a lot. Like that's what I started playing around roping with.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I kind of got out of the horses then, I guess, around that late middle school time frame. I didn't do much with it at all for a couple of years.
Do you think when you're growing up, like, I know how it is growing up in central Pennsylvania. So like, if you want to be involved in the Western and horse industry, you have to want it.
Yeah.
Like,
or be born in it.
Yeah. And I know growing up, at least for me, experiencing things, it's like, it was never really talked about.
Yeah.
And it's like, you grew up in it more so than I did. So like, for you, it was probably more, like once you got to like middle school, it became more of like, hey, my buddies are playing sports, we're going to just tuck that off to the side. I hear a lot of stories now of pretty handy cowboys that have went through that.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. And because it wasn't like a guy thing to do. It was like, it was like you're the weird horse girl, but you're a dude. So it's like extra weird. Like I didn't talk about it in school, which is, I don't know. Like now it's cool, which I don't know, you still get crap for English, but anyway, like it was just, and I don't know, like I always had that like draw to horses type thing. Like I remember watching Hidalgo. You ever seen that movie?
I think so, yeah.
And I was like obsessed with that movie. Like I watched it all the time. Like it was so freaking cool to me. And like I wanted to be a cowboy, but like that wasn't something I had access to. So like I did the English thing, but I didn't love it. Like jumping's fun. Like I don't think anyone that's done it will tell you it's not fun. It's a little less fun when you have a pony that stops every third jump. You never really know, you know, and you end up flying over the handlebars a lot. But
you do that anywhere. I still do that.
Yeah, bucking horses though, it's a different story.
No, so like building off that, when you got into high school, like or junior high school, you got out of the horse thing for a little bit.
Yeah.
And you played sports.
Yeah.
Baseball, football, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like and like growing up, you grew like, I don't know. I know your buddies pretty well, but like maybe not everybody else does. So like, growing up with them, like were they ever really involved with it, or like was it just were you like the lone wolf in the situation?
I was like the only one that had like any horse experience. Like one of my best friends, they had a couple horses, but like they didn't really ride. Which his sister rides some, but like no one else did like at all.
Right.
So yeah, I mean we just spent our time hunting and fishing and playing sports. Like that's just what we did. But I dated a girl in high school that had horses. They do a lot of like trail riding type stuff, some fun show type stuff. So I started like trail riding a little bit, and I didn't really ride that much when we actually dated, but became really good friends with the family and everything, and stuff just didn't work out. Like she was older, went to school, whatever. And then when she came back, I don't really remember what sparked it, but I ended up like being like, hey, can I come ride some? Like I like had the drive and the want to get back on a horse. Like it's like I missed it.
Is this the same time you started riding that halflinger of theirs?
Yeah, well, as this progressed, yeah. Like I started going over there, riding a good bit actually. Yeah. I ended up working for her dad during COVID, so I was like there all the time. They always had horses, so it's like get him from work and we'd jump on. Most of the time we'd say screw putting a saddle on, just jump on bareback because it was faster, and ride all over the mountain there and stuff. But yeah, they got that halflinger that her aunt bought that, I mean, he might have had like 5 rides on him or something like that. And she had a messed up arm at the time, so her mom didn't want her riding. So they're like, oh, well, like, you can ride him. I'm like, all right. So I pretty much trained that halflinger. He kind of became my horse while I was there. So I rode him all the time, everywhere. Bunch of like 3-day ride type stuff. And I mean, just like trail ride and stuff. I didn't really know what I was doing, but she went to the University of Findlay for their horse program. So she had an idea how to train one. So she was giving me pointers and stuff as I was working with them.
How old were you around this time?
17 probably.
And
17, 18.
And that's when it kind of like, I mean, I assume you always had a love for horses and everything. So I'm also thinking though that probably really sparked your
oh yeah, dude, I loved it. Yeah. And it was different, like, I don't know, this time around, like it was Western riding. So I don't know, I was around more of the people that I was like, oh, this is like what I wanted when I was younger type thing.
Right.
Like we're wearing jeans, cowboy boots, cowboy hats. We're not wearing tights and a dress shirt and a show jacket.
Nothing hating on the English world, but
tall
like,
boots. No,
it's
I'm
different.
not. Like,
It's
I
for
think
sure
I
different.
think it would be fun to show up. I just don't want to buy all the gear, but I would love to just show up and like compete again, just
Right.
cause. Like, my sister's horse just passed away, which really sucks. But like, there was a big part of me that'd be like, hey, can I ride Rooster like in a
Yeah.
show? Which he would have been down. Like, and he's a cool horse. He's one. It was so nice for her, at least when we got him. That horse would plow through something before he would stop. Like all the ponies that we rode, at least the ponies I
All
rode.
gas, no brakes, baby.
Dude, I mean, he's an off the track thoroughbred,
Yeah.
and people like have different opinions on them. We'll say that's a nice way to say it. But
Yeah.
dude, he was a freaking sweet horse.
Yeah.
Like he would take care of somebody. He had his quirks, but he would take care of you. So
Yeah.
I kind of thought that'd be fun, but I don't know. We'll see if she gets something else. Maybe I'll enter something at some point.
So we went from, high school, you played football and baseball, hunted, fished with all your buddies, whatnot. Then after high school, you went to Penn State,
Yep.
that's where we met.
Yep.
And you were a dual major, busted your ass 24/7.
Yeah.
But then like I feel like just knowing you for as long as I've known you, like you kind of, I feel like for me, I kind of saw that you kind of somewhat lost touch with the horse world in a small way.
I mean,
again.
yeah, a little bit, just because I'm not around it,
Right.
and I wasn't. It's like when I'd go home, I'd make sure
Yeah,
that I got to
for
ride,
sure.
but I wasn't like searching it out to be able to do it when I was up at school. But I
Yeah.
missed it, like,
Yeah.
So, and then we met Dan
Dan the man.
who, Michael's his younger brother, who's been on the podcast.
Yep.
And just talking with them, he's like, yeah, my brother bull rides, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, oh, that's sweet. I'm like, think you can get me on a bull? Like, I was more so delving into, like, the rodeo side a little bit, I guess, and, like...
I remember that because I remember, like, that's whenever, I don't know, at least for me, I saw when rodeo made a comeback. Like,
Yeah.
Around here especially, you never knew there was a rodeo until really around that time frame when we all started hanging out.
Yeah.
Like, it also helped that we had buddies that were doing it, but like at
Yeah.
the same time, it's like I feel like from there it just grew into something more.
Yeah.
And I was there when you got on your first bull, and
I kind of rode him for a jump. That second jump, all I remember, dude, is, well, first of all, it was supposed to be a practice pen. And then I found out that bull went from the practice pen, to the short go bull at their deals. Because Michael's like, he was bucking like crap. After you got on him, fixed him. I don't know what you did, but...
you were the test dummy.
Yep. But
No.
I remember watching him leave and being like, oh, where'd his head go? And then my next thought is, my hand's in the bull rope and I'm not touching the bull. Nothing else is on the bull. And I like just panicked, ripped my hand as hard as I
Superman.
could out of there and, hit the ground, jumped up.
Yeah.
My dad said it was the fastest he's ever seen me run. Because I'm not fast, by the way, if anyone's wondering.
Yeah. No, but like I remember when that happened, but then I feel like shortly after that is when you really started getting pretty damn serious back into the horse world. At least getting your toes in it. Like, I don't know, I saw you grow through college with horses. Like, especially your last 2 years in college. That's
That's where it really cranked up for me. I mean, it was just, taking opportunities where I had them, but I didn't have a ton. It was really like when I went home and, somewhere in there, someone we met at a bunch of the like organized trail rides asked Cheyenne, my friend, to start a colt. And she was like hurt again or had the same injury or whatever. So I pretty much rode him. Little blue roan stud colt. He was freaking awesome. Wasn't studdy at all. I really liked that horse. I mean, we just basically, started him in a round pen and then just got him out on trail and put a bunch of miles on him. But he was super cool, super sweet. So I guess that, like, between him and the halflinger, like, I kind of was like, man, this, like, colt starting thing's super cool. Like, I like to see the transformation in him is, like, crazy cool to me. So I started really liking that. And then through Michael, got on that bull. And then I had met Rooster through those trail rides, too. And I don't know at what point he started really rodeoing, because he started riding broncs and then steer wrestling.
Yeah, the way that played out was we'd have to talk to him about it and like actually like get the full story. But like from what I know is he kind of just stumbled upon it almost the same way everybody else did.
Found Rocky Ridge and got in with them, and then
it's crazy how like the love for this sport originated, or like, I mean, maybe not originated in one place, but like especially for all of us, I feel like Rocky Ridge really helped everybody that was there find their path they wanted to go. That's like you know, you got on a bull, you got on a few bulls.
Yeah, I got on 2. Yeah. The second one was at Rocky Ridge.
Yeah, well, and then like you got on a couple bucking horses, and it's like you found out quickly, like you loved the rodeo aspect. Yeah. But then like, I feel like as soon as you started coming out here and working here, it's like that's where you found your niche, and it's like now you're in a position where, I mean, I don't know, you just have quietly grown so much to horses, and like especially younger horses, like you're not scared of them, which is pretty sweet. Like, I don't know, it's really cool. Like you got Rudy, my
little colt,
your little colt out there, that's yours, and
Whiskey Double Shot. I should have named him Whiskey, but we kept the name he came with.
Yeah, but yeah, let's talk about here a little bit. Like, you've started working here, you're cleaning stalls and kind of getting some experience, but then I feel like quickly things were turning around, and you started riding. Now pretty much you're riding pretty often. So
going into senior year of college, I had ex-girlfriends, man. I don't know when she mentioned it. I think we were dating then, but different ex was like, hey, you should look up like Suzanne Myers and see if she's looking for any help, like even if it's just for stalls, because like I just missed being around horses. Like, yeah, I missed riding and stuff when I was at school, but just like being around them. So this was post that relationship, but I was like, screw it. So I looked up Suze on Facebook and sent her a DM, and she's like, yeah, come out, like we're looking for a stall cleaner type thing and whatever. So long story short, started cleaning stalls and was doing that for a while, and somewhere in there, well, it was that October, the Halloween rodeo up at Lucky E. Yep. And
we'll talk about that later. Wait for a different. There's anyway, another podcast.
I got on a ranch bronc up there and won the ranch bronc riding on a puke. I'll say that it was a puke. Got one of the coolest pictures of all time. Yeah, it was a puke.
The most badass picture, I think.
Dude, like straight up airtime on that thing.
Like that picture. We need to find it because that picture looks like the PRCA logo. Yeah. Like,
yeah, it does. Sick. Except I'm wearing a sombrero.
We were not good, man.
But yeah, so yeah, and at that point, like Zach and Reese were riding broncs still. You were riding bulls then.
Yeah.
And I just tagged along. Reese was like, dude, they got the ranch bronc riding, you gotta enter. Like you'll be good. Yep. Hey, I was the only one that pulled a check, but
you were, dude.
But I was on a puke. I'm gonna say that it was an absolute puke.
Hey, here's the thing about rodeo: you gotta show up there and you gotta handle your business, no matter what you get on.
And luck of the draw, no one else rode. That helped. If anyone else rode, I wouldn't have won.
Hey, you showed up, you did your job, and you won.
Yeah, fair enough. But anyway, so
moral of the story.
And as young guys do, when you have a cool
coffee
picture.
All right, good.
When you have a cool picture, you post it.
Yeah.
So I had it up on Facebook. And Bree, who I've had on, the assistant trainer here, she was talking with Suze, and at the time they had a Mustang in training. And she's like, hey, like this is her talking to Suze. She's like, hey, Isaac's like riding some broncs. You want to see if he wants to put the first ride on that Mustang? Suze is like, yeah. So they asked me, like, hey, did you be interested in putting the first ride on Milo, was his name. I'm like, yeah, for sure. Milo. Dude, I love that little Mustang.
You did. You love that horse.
But yeah, so I started working with them pretty much every day. I'd be out here because they wanted me to get like more of a feel for him. So I did a lot of the groundwork stuff, and he had a lot of the basics put on him groundwork wise. but I got to learn a lot of it with him, and then put the first ride on him, and it went well. He did blow up, but I stayed on, and yeah, I think Bree might have put like one ride on him, but like other than that, I put like every ride on him while I was here. Super cool. He did get me off twice. One time, his first trail ride, we take him to the creek. Great idea. And every horse I've ever been on that was like nervous around water, they'd always stop and you'd like kind of coax them across, like just make that wall and be like, hey, your out is forward. That's where you get away from the pressure. He just like full sends launches off the bank into the middle of the creek and there's like a little trail leading down. There was water running in it. The creek was high. There's water running down to the creek through like the trail we'd ride to it. He's dragging me through all this rhododendron and everything, and I'm just like getting beat around trying to dodge it. And I'm like, okay, well he'll hesitate, and I'll like gather up and like we'll get him across. No, full sends. I'm already like not in position. He hits Bronx like twice, and I go boom right over his head. Literally land like underneath Bree's horse, Wesley, who was right in front of me. And I just remember, and this was in like January. It was freezing. I come up, I'm holding a rein, like I'm soaked, my boots are full of water, like it's up over my boots and everything, and Bree's across, so I'm just like, okay, because he was like, he just wanted to be with another horse, so I let him go. He ran to Bree, she grabbed him, and I go over, and we ended up just like full lope the whole way back to the house. And like by the time we get back, like my vest is frozen, like there's ice hanging off my beard, like all this. So that was just a good story, but it was fun, whatever. And the other time was just stupid, and I was like, whatever, like you don't have anything that can get me off. And then he showed me that he did.
Humbled you real quick.
Yeah, yep, as they do. But yeah, no, that was like my start of like riding some stuff here. And then after that, like it's just kind of picked up. Like I get to ride a lot of the young horses, and got to ride some of the more finished horses. I guess before I ever rode Milo, some of the people were giving me crap. They're like, I thought you rode. Like, how come we never get to see you ride as I'm, like, cleaning stalls? I'm like, because I don't have time, like, whatever. And finally, Sue's like, you want to ride Red? And Red's, like, their main brood mare, but she is, like, a badass reiner, like, fully finished, like, super cool horse. So I got to ride her and started off just, like, on trail. I'm like, man, like, this is the best trail horse I've ever been on. And I'm, like, thinking she's, like, high-test reiner. I'm like, but she's so calm out here. And Sue's let me run her up there one hill. Like, don't ask for anything, but let her take what she wants. Just, like, make sure she builds. Don't let her just run off. So did that. And we get back, and she's like, you think you can stay on if we turn her? And I was like, yeah, I did. But I was so afraid I was going to fall off. But that first time, like, turning a reining horse, dude, bad to the bone. Like, never experienced anything like that. That was super cool. So that kind of got me hooked.
Yeah, that's
a little more on that.
So that got you, to that point. Well, then through your time here, you also you've gotten to be able to go and do some shows and stuff. Like, yep. Do you think that you found your niche in that?
I don't know. It's fun. Super blessed in the fact that they were willing to take me to shows, and Michelle, who owns the horse that I rode, was willing to let me show him. She owns him, but she doesn't really have like any desire to really show. Like at some point she wants to take him home and just have him as like her trail horse or whatever.
Right.
And she won't argue this, so I'll say it. She's a greener rider. Like just the showing thing's not really in her cards, like time wise, money wise, everything, because there's a lot that goes into it, and it's not cheap to go do it. But she was open to letting me take him and show him. So I got to show him last year. And that was a super cool experience. It's super fun. I love the competitive side. Like, I mean, you know me, like I do not like to lose.
Yep.
But I like to compete in general.
Yep.
So yeah, that was cool. And it was awesome to see, that side of it, and getting to be on a really good horse. I mean, he was 4 last year when I showed him, so he's still pretty green as far as that stuff goes, but he kind of took care of me, and we also learned a lot.
Yeah, for sure.
Got to season him up now, and now there's TJ's daughter. They leased him this year, and she's showing him, and they're doing pretty well together, so it's cool.
Yeah.
And it's cool to see how much he's matured in that year. So Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool,
side.
man. Yeah, for sure. Like, you know, I know for you, like, you know, you're always trying to find the stuff. Like, I don't know, I feel like when you started reining, you were all into it, but I also, like...
Yeah, it really took me away from the rodeo side.
Yeah, it did, but, like...
But my
honestly,
heart wasn't really in it. Like, it's the horse side for me.
Yeah, that's what
like,
I was about to say.
I want to be a cowboy, and that's, like, kind of... I mean, I did the bull riding thing twice, but that was, like, a foot in the door. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And easy entry, kind of. Like, you just need to be able to bum a bull rope. Like, that's really all you really need. I mean, I don't even know if I ever rode one with spurs on. The second one I had spurs. But, like...
Some gigs.
And I didn't have a helmet, which my mom was mad about. But I have a big head. I remember Rooster looking at me and he goes, pick a different bull. I was like, what? What do you want me to do? Like,
dude, he does so bad. Like, dude, anytime... I love you, Rooster, but, dude, you sometimes made things way worse than what they had to be. Dude. Like, when we went to Ellicottville, and I got on this horse, 811 Alien Eyes of All-American, and he's been to the IFR, and, like... I was only on a handful of broncs, and like I remember Rooster went up and asked about this horse to the stock contractor, came back and was like, he's gonna die, he's gonna fucking die. I was like, dude, like,
yeah,
shut up. But anyways,
I just remember looking at him and like flicking my hat and I go, I got a helmet on.
Dude, I was standing up there with you on the chute. I was like, that was badass. Just don't die.
Yeah. No, I was like, whatever I do, I'm just gonna like stay back as best as I can. Cause I mean, he had horns. That's why sure. Rooster was worried about it.
So let's so like we got a gist of what you're doing now. You know, training horses. Talk about your Timmy boy.
What's up?
Welcome in, Tim.
I was like, who is opening my door? We can talk
all right.
later.
What's up, Bubba?
Hi, buddy. iPhone storage full.
I don't know how that happened.
The video might not work.
Sorry, y'all.
Oh, well. Another audio podcast, everyone.
Yep. We're going to fix it one day, don't worry. But, anywho, let's talk about your 2-year-old. Talk about your horse. Give us the lowdown on, you know, they kind of, like, we know the story-ish of, you know, going to get them.
Yeah.
It was kind of like...
If people haven't watched, there is a YouTube video. It's not great, but there's a YouTube video.
But moral of the story is, you know, you went and you picked up this 2-year-old and, you know, he was... I mean, was he broke?
No, he had nothing. He was halter broke. Yeah. That was it.
And, I mean, I don't know, how long have you had him? A couple months?
I think I got him in April.
Yeah. And
March.
Yeah, well, you know, talk about him and his progress and what you guys have been doing. You know, kinda.
Yeah, so he's a grandson of Gunner, so he's pretty heavy reining bred on the top side. And he's out of a mare that goes back to, I'm going to blank on it. He goes back to the 6s. They still have the stud, but I'm blanking on the name. So, you know, he's
trailed back to the 6s?
Yeah.
Oh, that's sweet, dude.
Yeah, I'm embarrassing myself by forgetting his papers right now. But yeah, and you know, you go back to that stud, and he's just kind of like an all-around performance horse type deal.
Right.
But so mostly reining bred, has a little cow to him. I was looking for a colt for a while, and I've wanted one. And I never pulled trigger on it because I was worried about affording it. And then got to the point that I'm like, I don't even care anymore. Like, I'm going to do this. And there's a lot of other stuff going on in my life that, like, stuff was up in the air. Like, last time we talked, I was moving to Missouri. And that fell apart. And now I'm, like, halfway unemployed, kind of.
Man.
But that part kind of happened after I decided to pull trigger and buy this colt. But I looked for a while and found him. He's in Western Tennessee. And Zach and I went out to look at him, and he is little, and that's probably his biggest downside. But he is an athletic little bugger.
Yeah.
And hopefully, you know, he's already filling in some. He was like 13-2 when I got him. Like, he's a pony.
Yeah.
He still is a pony, but I'm hoping he can hit like 14-2. I highly doubt he will. I think he'll be like 14-1, but he should get stout.
Right.
He has some siblings that rein, a sibling that does mounted shooting, another one that they soared on. So they're all kind of performance horse type stuff.
Right. So let's like talk about your guys' like growth together. Like you said that when you got him, he was halter broke, but that was it.
Yeah.
Like
so
where you at? Like from April to now, where have you guys been able to go?
So probably took like the first month or so, and I wasn't trying to rush him, like wanting him to get bigger and stuff. Just did a bunch of groundwork, got him super solid in all his groundwork, and just to where he's not going to run you over. He'll respect your space. Got him used to having a saddle on, going around with a tarp, kind of like, how your legs are going to flap on him. Just all the stuff to make sure, like, don't give him a reason to, like, be a bronc when you do get on him. And ended up putting the first ride on him. Went super good. Doesn't buck. Like, I don't know. I always go back and forth with, like, there's like a cowboy way to do stuff, and then there's a way where if you take a little more time, a lot of times you don't have to do the cowboy stuff, which to each their own, I guess. I'm not going to throw shade on it, especially if you just need to get it broke so you can do a job,
Right.
But like I have time with him basically, so take my time. But yeah, he's doing really well. Had him out on trail a bunch of time in the arena. Swung a rope on him. How's he with that?
He's
pretty good with it. I mean, we don't have a dummy we can track, but I have a dummy I can just like, sit there and kind of throw a rope on him.
Yeah.
He's been good about that. He's kind of funny because he's real curious about stuff. So he like wants to like ride up to it, like sniff it. I'm like, I need to get you on cast, which is going to happen here soon. I'm thinking maybe the end of this month I can get him down to Rocky and we'll just track a cow around, let him push one and like learn that,
Yeah.
he can kind of control their feet type thing, and I think that'll help his confidence a lot, because that's like the one thing that like sometimes if he's like out on trail by himself and something stupid happens, he gets a little worried. He just tucks his butt and he wants to look at it, and that's basically all he does. Like, he's really good, all things considered, but just to like build his confidence even more, I think that'd be good. And I'm just curious what he's gonna do, because he's like catty to where I think he might like almost like a cutting horse is a horse that's like going to be real watchy and kind of want to draw away from something, like back. They want to draw back. But like a sorting horse or a rope horse, like they have that attitude more where like instead of like real watchy with their ears forward, they're like more like ears back, like I'm going to eat that son of a gun. Yeah. And I don't know which he's going to do. I'm so excited to find out. But yeah, he's stepping around, like starting like the reining turn around, starting to get his steps. He's loping around really nice. Building that neck rein as we go, but yeah, he's doing good. I'm excited about him.
Oh, hell yeah, dude. That's
and he's like
awesome.
a puppy dog, dude. Like I hate when people are like in your pocket type. I'm like, that sounds like that horse is pushy. Like that's the kind of horse that'll hurt someone like without noticing it, and the person thinks it's like cute, and I'm like, no, that horse has no respect for your bubble. He can get in your bubble a little bit, but he also knows he's not supposed to be, like, and we're still working on it a little bit, but he's gotten way better because he was that kind of horse, kind of. But he's like, I'll get off him and I can just pitch a rein up over his neck and he'll just follow me wherever. Like, he's literally like a puppy dog. Like, he's kind of hilarious in that regard. But
yeah, well, I mean, that also goes to show, like, I mean, he respects you. He knows. Oh yeah, he knows who his owner is. Yeah. I also think it's pretty awesome, just to hear the story, for you at least, that like, dude, you're the only one that has touched that horse.
Yeah.
Like, you're the only one that swung a leg on him?
Bree rode him once. For me, yeah.
But, I mean, other than
that, it's just been me.
It's just been you, and it's like, everything he knows is something you taught him.
Yeah.
And
like here and
we're going to see later today, we'll take some cool videos and whatnot for you, but, like, it's like everything that horse knows is what you've been able to teach him. Granted, like, he's probably had some stuff bred into him in the sense of like just having it bred into him, but like you've also taught him everything that he knows right now, and that's pretty dang sweet, you know.
And I like, if Bree or Suze are around, like, they'll help me out, give me pointers and stuff, which I'm super thankful for. And all that, and the breeding side's huge. Like, you can't ride papers. Like, I'll agree with that. You can't. Like, you're riding a horse, but the papers give you an idea of what you have underneath you type thing, or what they could be.
Right.
Not saying they're going to be that. They could be a turd and be bred out the butt. But the odds of them being a turd when they're bred really well, it's not that high.
Right.
Like you're probably getting a solid idea of what you have. So
right. So well, let's go in and kind of, just talk about, your goals, what's your Timmy's on the floor.
Yeah.
He's taking a nap.
He's doing crunches. Focus, Clay.
Like, what's your goals? Like, where do you, what do you want to try next? Where do you want to be next? And, what's your ideas?
That's something I've struggled with a lot. I mean, just generally speaking, like, I want to be a better horseman. Like, I want to be someone that, like, people kind of know me for what I can do with a horse and, like, respect that type thing. I think to an extent around some of the crowds that we're around, like, that already exists. But you get to that next level and it's like a whole different ball game type thing. I really struggle with, having that long-term plan of what I want to do, because, I mean, I really like the reining, but I don't know that it's my end-all be-all. I, like, love the cattle side. And, like, I think it might just be that fact of, like, I want to be a cowboy, Like, I still don't put that title on myself. But, like, I want the cow side of it. So I'm super interested in, like, the cow horse. I mean, I got to go down to Naves, and he let me ride a cutter just on the flag. But, like, that was sick. Like, to put your hand down and that horse just be like, okay, like, I know what you want me to do. I got it now. Just hang on, basically. Like, that's crazy cool.
Yeah.
And the roping side, dude, it might go back to the fact that that's what I wanted to do when I was a little kid for whatever reason. And I rope the dummy like every day. Like, I don't have a rope horse. I'm debating if that's something I should pull the trigger on, just so I can, like, go and do it. Because, like, how else are you going to? Like, that's kind of what I'm realizing with this. It's like, you can sit around and wish for everything all day, but, like, you just gotta freaking
do it,
bootstrap up and make it happen.
Yeah, I mean, that's everything that's anything in the Western world. Yeah, like, it keeps moving, and if you just can't expect it to happen. So, like, kind of what you just said, you gotta just do it.
And when guys see you try, like, they'll help you.
Oh yeah, and well, that's what's so awesome about like, everything in the Western industry. Like, yeah, you're gonna have your certain people that are the way they are, but 9 chances out of 10, no matter, like, what you're doing, what event you're doing, you're the best in the world will give you advice and tips and actually want to see you succeed and do well. Yeah, if
you're hungry for it and doing it for the right reasons.
Exactly. Which, I mean, you for sure are. I mean, I know that, like, I'm excited to watch you grow and, get more involved with it, and, like, it's going to be pretty dang sweet, come back in a couple more months and be like, see this? This horse I got is doing me justice, and, that would be cool. I mean, it's just, you know how it is. Whatever you put into it is what you're going to get out of it.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, and,
yeah.
You plan on going out west at all?
It's kind of the goal right now. We'll see. So, to kind of go back to that whole whatever going on in my life type thing, I was working for the government. We kind of talked about that on the first podcast with you. Everything that was going on there, the odds of me, for lack of a better term, getting fired when they do a reduction in force was high. I wasn't tenured in. I wasn't probationary anymore, but I wasn't tenured, so I was in that range that's probably going to get smoked when they let people go, which everything was pointing to. So they had offered a buyout earlier, and it was super sketchy, like super sketchy. I'm like, they're not going to pay you past March, because I think it was March. The budget was running out. So I'm like, there's no funds allocated, so they're saying they're going to pay you till the end of September. But I'm like, I don't see it happening. I think people are going to get screwed on that. But they ended up later on opening it up again, and it was a lot safer seeming anyway. So far, it's been good. But yeah, so I took the buyout the second time around, so I get paid till the end of September. Like, I'm still working, but I don't have to show up.
Yeah.
Which seems like a great use of, taxpayer dollars, but whatever. Anyway, so yeah, I'm just kind of finding work where I can. Shout out to me. Doing some landscaping, and riding horses and applying to jobs. It's been kind of tough in that regard too, because I don't know exactly what I want to do, and it makes it hard to commit to some other stuff. Just not knowing, like, I get a job offer and I have to leave tomorrow type thing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, what do I do? Like, I have a colt now. Like, what do I do with him? So I don't know. I've talked to some reiners. I mean, that's probably my strongest back. I've basically decided that I want to, like, fully commit to this, at least for a little bit. Like, I'm young. Like, let's go try to do some cool shit, basically. Like,
yeah.
Let's go try to be the cowboy thing. And if it doesn't really work out, I'll find a good paying job, and I'll use that to pay for, it'll be a hobby then instead of a job.
Yeah, it's better to do it and then look back and be like, I wish I would have.
Yeah. I don't know if you follow, like, Alex Hormozy at all or anything, but I saw some stuff from him, and it's like, what's going to be the better story? Like, when you're an old man, talking to your grandkids or something, like, what story do you want to be able to tell them? And I was like, do I want to sit there and be like, yeah, I played it safe and I just, worked the desk job and, like, I got to do some cool stuff, but I just, followed that, like, 9 to 5, work for the man, kind of hate your life, but, you make decent enough money to not leave.
Yeah.
And I'm comfortable, but, whatever. Or do I want to be like, yeah, dude, I slummed it in my truck living out of a bedroll, but I got to, like, cowboy down here, and, I went and rode cutters for this guy, and, started picking up rodeos here, and day worked, and, like, all the cool stuff. I'm like, dude, I'd rather tell that story and be, like, broke than be like, look back and be like, man, I just chose to be comfortable. And
yeah, I feel like a lot of people struggle with that in the now, for sure. I mean, it's a hard world to just be like, screw it, but, like, at the same time, it's screw it, might as well.
Yeah. But so if anyone's listening and you know of any cutting horse trainers, cow horse trainers, rope horse guys, a ranch that's looking for somebody, I've been applying. I'm in talks with some people, dude. I mean, there's an outfitter in Colorado that's looking for someone. I don't know that, back in the day, that would have been my dream job. We talked about this already, but I'm like, man, I want, like, it's that cow side thing for me. Yeah. And then there's another guy I'm talking to that's a reining trainer, and of course he's, like, East Coast, and I really rather head west. And I don't know that the reiners are the end all be all for me. Like, I want that cow side. Like, as much as, like, the horse is the thing for me, like, that's why, like, I'm like, if I can find a ranch that, I mean, I like the regenerative side of stuff too. Like, that's my background school wise, conservation type stuff. So, like, a regenerative ranch that still does stuff horseback, like, sign me up. Yeah. But I don't have the cattle experience to get the job type thing. So that's kind of the big struggle right now. But I'll find something, and even if it's just baby steps and it's farther down the road, I think that's the route I'm going. So I guess that's the goal, to find out, for lack of a better term, what the fuck I'm supposed to be doing, and fucking go all in. Yeah. Well, I think whenever, I don't know, I think if you moved out west, you'd find out pretty quick what you want. And like, I know how I am in Texas. I can only imagine what you would be if you were in Texas, Wyoming, Montana, any of them states, Colorado. Yeah. It'd be badass. Right before we started this, I found another job online that is a hunting ranch, and I think they have yearlings that they like background. Where at? Oklahoma. And I was like, might have to throw the hat in the ring.
Throw your hat
again.
in the ring, man. Apply
Oh, I'm going
everything.
to. There's no reason not to, aside from the fact that like I'm starting to like have a couple offers, and I'm like, man, do I sit and burn this offer, or do I just take it and then I can regroup in like a year? It's the other thing of like I feel like you kind of need to commit at least a year to a place. Like otherwise you're kind of a piece of shit in my mind. Like you got to commit a little bit to them, like keep your word. Not that I'd ever not keep my word, and if like I had a conversation with them and they were like, no, you need to be going and doing this, then like yeah, absolutely. But I'm not going to burn a bridge somewhere. I mean, your reputation's everything. Your word means so much, especially in this industry. Like it's not a light decision, I guess. Especially if it's like one that I'm like, I think I would like the job, but I don't know that it's my end all be all again.
Yeah.
So
well, cool, man.
Yeah,
well,
I don't know if any of that was beneficial to people.
It was. I mean, I don't know. I think it's always beneficial that like when people listen, especially to a podcast, knowing the host and where their mind's at and what they do, and
I guess I should probably say goals for this too.
Yeah, I mean, what are your goals for this? Like,
dude, I would love if it would at least pay for itself.
Yeah.
But no, to me, like the reason to start this was kind of, I don't know how to word it exactly, but there's so many people out there that I'm like, dude, that guy's badass. But it's hard to like just walk up and be like, so what's your story? You know what I mean? Like, tell me, like, how'd you get into this?
Yeah.
Like, to have that conversation, like, is like, it's not going to happen. Like, this is a way to be like, hey, I have a podcast. Like, I'd love to get you on type thing. And everyone's been super open to it. I don't think anyone's really told me no. So, and then you get to sit down with people that are like cool and kind of figure out, get a better idea of like, hey, maybe this is something I want to do, or even just like hear cool stories or find out how they got into the industry. And I know there's got to be other people like me that like are into all this stuff but don't really know. So I'm hoping to put out like beneficial content to other people, maybe inspire somebody or help them find their thing. So I mean, that's a goal of it. If it just does that and it keeps costing me money, that's fine. But if I could get a couple sponsors or something, that'd be pretty sweet.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, I guess that's the goal for it.
Heck yeah, that's awesome, man. And I mean, I don't know. I listen to all the episodes, so.
Yeah, it's been fun. Regardless, it's been fun.
Yeah, I mean, moral of the story, it's like, you get to sit down with people and then, like, see them in a different light, hear their story, and then, like, you learn things about people you didn't know before, which is awesome. Dude. As, especially when you're, like, talking to buddies on this, it's like, you guys get in the weeds a little bit, and then you're like, oh, well, damn, I've been friends with this guy for years, and I didn't know that.
Yeah,
like,
I've known TJ for, like, 3 years. I had no idea that he was in Afghanistan. Like right as we got in Afghanistan post 9/11, and he was in direct support to the quote unquote horse soldiers of 5th Group Special Forces. I was like, holy shit.
Let's talk about it.
Yeah. No. I kind of wish we would have dove into it a little more, but I told him I wouldn't pry on anything. But I mean, he basically said like, yeah, I've done some shit. And I was like, I do not doubt it. Like, that's legit. But like, never knew that. And like stuff about like I didn't know that Bree wrote English too to start. Like, people that I like know well, like, find out stuff I had no idea about. So it's been cool.
Yeah, that's sweet, man. Well, guys, that's your host, Mr. Isaac Nulton.
Yeah.
And
somewhere in there I played around on Bronx. We didn't talk about that, but that's okay.
He did play around on Bronx. It was pretty fun.
For you. You enjoyed that school. I got crippled.
You got on a couple more after that.
Yeah. But I got on enough to say that I got on, but not to really say that I was a bronc rider ever.
It was fun.
Yeah.
I loved it when you were getting on, though. It made me so happy because I was
It was fun.
So scared.
We could be scared together.
I was so scared. I'm like, oh, Isaac's doing it, so I better do it.
Yep.
I better not be a little wussy.
Yep.
Pack your hand, be the man.
Can't be a gato. Or don't be a gato.
Yeah. But
if you don't speak Spanish, Google it. You'll figure it out.
I almost said something not good. I'm happy I didn't.
Good job. My mom would be proud of you. But, dude, all right.
Dutch is not Dutch, the language, dude. Not funny.
Clay, your Amish is showing.
Huh?
Nothing.
My Amish?
You're Amish.
Dude, Dutch is not a language.
You speak Dutch.
And, well, Never mind. I can't say it. I'm gonna tell you after we're done with this.
All right, that's
it's
fair.
quite funny. But anyways, thank you all for listening. This is I was the host on this one.
Yeah,
And
you're not bad at it. After that first one we did, I was like, I'm gonna have Clay interview me at some point.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's pretty nice that like I'm not around it a lot. Timmy's back here working out behind us. It's kind of funny.
Hilarious.
He's gonna sit in with us later, and I think next time we have a podcast, all together, it's gonna be kind of funny.
Yeah,
we'll dive more into the goofy shit.
Yeah,
that we did in life, but
yeah.
Anyway, thank you guys for listening, and keep following the Western Blend. And anybody out there that's young and wants to be involved in the cowboy world, don't be afraid to reach out. To
for sure.
Anybody that is on the podcast, and B, never be afraid to reach out to Isaac or me. I'm busy, but I'm always willing to help. So
yeah, and if we don't know, we'll find somebody that does. You
bet. And just keep following, and I'm excited to watch this thing grow.
Yeah, like, subscribe, all the stuff.
All of the things.
If you know of someone that'd be really cool, or you want to hear their story on the podcast, also message me, because I'm always looking to get people on, especially if they're on the East Coast, because it's a lot easier for me to get in contact with them. At some point, I might have to do
some
like
Zooms.
I don't want to do it because I hate like Zoom, like not
Meetings.
in person podcasts.
Yeah.
Because it's so easy to like talk over the person, or like the audio's junk, but it would make stuff a lot easier, and I could get some cool people on, so we'll see. Sure. But anyway, we'll wrap it up with that, I guess.
All right, well, thank you guys for listening. Western Blend on Instagram, and Isaac Nulton on Facebook, and then keep following along. Well, we're on the next one.